should me and other so-called Negroes go 10,000 miles away from home here in America to drop bombs and bullets on other innocent brown people who never bother us. We believe in obeying the laws of the land. We are taught to obey the laws of the land as long as it don't conflict with our religious beliefs. Whatever the punishment, whatever the persecution is for standing up for my religious beliefs, even if it means facing machine gun fire that day, I will face it before denouncing.
The truth is that I wanted to do a 21st century version of Alex Haley's Roots.
Right.
And I wanted to get 8 prominent African Americans, and I would trace their family tree back to the abyss of slavery, the tomb of slavery, because that's when records for black people disappear, obviously. And then what I call reverse the Middle Passage through DNA and find out what ethnic group they were from in Africa, like Alex Haley claimed that he did. So I got Oprah Winfrey, Chris Tucker, Bishop T.D. Jakes, Quincy Jones. It was an experiment, and it was a big hit. And so PBS asked me to do a sequel, and we called African American Lives too, and we did Morgan Freeman, a man who played God and the President. You had to do him.
Yeah, gotcha.
Maya Angelou, God bless her soul.
But these are
Chris
all people
Rock.
that are famous and celebrities, and
Yeah.
And the idea is what, that their lives will be more interesting to people.
Yeah, well, that viewers, like real people who tune in, want to look over your shoulder
Which is the
and
reason
get
they read
these
gossip.
family stories.
They want to know about people who are famous.
Right, and this is an archival form of gossip. But here's when the brand changed. I get a letter, Charlie. I started getting all these letters from people. And I get a letter from a Russian Jewish woman who said, "Dear Dr. Gates, I've always admired your career and your stance on multiculturalism and cultural diversity. But after watching 2 seasons of African American Lives, I've decided you're a big fat racist because you only do black people." So, my whole identity is African American studies. That's my day job. I've been a professor of that since I was 26 years old. Yeah, Yale, Cornell, Duke, now 26 years
at Harvard.
Glorious years at Harvard.
This is Dr. Henry Louis Gates, Jr. He is the chairman of the Department of African American Studies at Harvard, the gatekeepers of the world's historical deception.
in my time, we were taught that the Africans were these benighted people, and they were too stupid to build a boat or to be curious about the world and cross the Sahara Desert. It was rubbish. Africans were just as curious as anybody else. The Sahara Desert was a highway. It wasn't a barrier. So I thought, well, and there were great trade routes. So I thought maybe my Nubian descendant had come over and ended up being tricked by some white man and ended up in Maryland or Virginia or something. So that was cool. And if I needed an interpretation, believe me, I could have produced one.
As he panders to his audience for laughs, he makes reference to Dr. Kittles, who is the founder of Africanism.com.
So it broke on CNN. I was sitting in my living room minding my own business and said, Oprah Winfrey's a Zulu. So I called Rick Kittles. And I said, Rick, did you tell Oprah she was a Zulu? He goes, no, man, she made that up herself. It's a true story. It's a true story. I would lie to make you laugh, but I'm telling you a true story.
Gates goes on to reference the process by which Kittles collects genealogical information, jokingly, as if the process he uses to collect information is completely fraudulent.
So I said, Rick, are you in your lab? He said, yeah. I said, is anybody there? He said, no. I said, when the results come in, make her Zulu, man. You know? I said, you back there making it up anyway. Nobody believe you can take some spit and figure out a tribe? What are you, crazy? So anyway, I was a Nubian and it was cool.
When the foreigner beheld the shores of America for the first time, no doubt they were overwhelmed with greed and dreams of murder. For Europe wasn't known as the safest or best, or even the cleanest place to live. Many men ventured from Europe to escape persecution of those said to be under the stress of persecution were the so-called Jews of Spain. One of these so-called Jews from Spain, by way of Genoa, is a man known as Cristobal Colon, aka Christopher Columbus, for which several places in the Americas are named. Some people may ask the question, how could Columbus be a Jew and push Christianity? According to scholars, Columbus was a converso, which means he publicly practiced Catholicism, but practiced Judaism in secrecy. An even more astute person would ask, if he was supposed to be expelled with all other Jews from Spain, why was he financed by King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella? This inconsistency presents gaping holes in their historical narrative and is the key to uncovering indigenous identity. Why was Columbus coming to America? For years, through the phony ideologies propped by public education and social conformity, the public has become a herd of well-tamed, sedated sheep, clamoring for comfort in a bed of lies, happy to sleep in the sheets of deceit. How does one rationalize evil without dismissing good as a reasonable act? Choices made in the gray area are still shades of black and white. Black and white are just colors and are in no way interchangeable as a replacement for race, nation, or culture. The greatness of the nations of pre-Columbian America are forever trapped within the asinine markings of godless barbarians who detest divine wisdom. But the realization of our identity is a self-fulfilling prophecy whose age has risen gracefully upon the present day. And with each faithfully intended pursuit, we redesign the map to our promised land.
%58 of the African American people have a significant amount of white ancestry. You know that those high cheekbones and straight black hair? That came from your white great-great-grandfather.